Keep watching for this smothered oxtail and red beans and rice recipe. Go ahead, watch this video, hit the like button, and go ahead and subscribe. So let's get started with some clean oxtails. You want to clean them with either lime or lemon juice. And we are starting off with the marinade, which is Worcestershire and soy sauce. The soy sauce is definitely optional, but I would recommend it if you do not have browning to use for this recipe. And I'm going in with some of my favorite seasonings. I believe it was cayenne pepper, garlic, and some Caribbean jerk seasoning, along with some other seasonings. I think also oregano. So you just want to go ahead and blend that all in. Make sure you're using gloves so you can, get every crevice and stuff and all that good stuff. Then after that, you want to go ahead and start adding in your veggies. And these veggies, you are going to saute them when you are sauteing the oxtails to just kind of give it a little bit more flavor before we add the veggies into like the boiling pot for it to cook through. So I'm starting off with onions. You guys can use red onions if you choose. I'm just not a huge fan of the red onions. So onions, and then green bell peppers. And we are going in with some carrots. And of course some fresh thyme. I love the smell of fresh thyme. Definitely have to add some of that in there. So you are going to give that a good mix. Now this part is optional, but this is Caribbean jerk marinade, and then I'm going to give it a really good mix again. So now we're headed over to the stove. We're using just kind of like a searing pan, and we're using some olive oil, and you want to get that on medium to high heat. Let it heat up, and then you are going to sear the oxtails along with all of those veggies that are left in your little pan. Okay, when you are searing these oxtails, make sure that you are turning them on every side. Like, turn it upwards, turn it downwards, turn it to the side, turn it to the right. To just get all of the sides, get all of the sides seared. And when you're done, they're gonna look like that. And then you're gonna set it aside. So I allowed the remainder of the veggies and the marinade to cook for about 2 to 3 minutes. And then in a large cooking pot, I'm taking some olive oil on medium to high heat for now. And I'm adding in the rest of that marinade and the veggies. And I'm going to let it cook for about a minute. After that's done, I add back in the oxtails, and I did lower the stove to just like I think like a 5. So just medium heat. So now let's just go ahead and add in some seasonings. I'm starting off with minced garlic, and then I am using some ginger. It's like a ginger puree. Then I'm going to give that a really good mix. And then you guys, this part is optional, don't judge me on it, but I'm using ketchup. I'm using ketchup out of all things, yes. Ketchup with oxtails, it's like a hidden ingredient that wakes it up. And then I am using about 2 cups of water and just like pouring it in there. And then I'm going to add a little bit more seasonings. So then I'm adding in fresh thyme, and then I am using a beef bouillon cube. You can use 2 if you want, but I don't like heavy seasoning, so I'm just using 1. And then a habanero pepper. You see, I'm not touching it. I have a love-hate relationship with this pepper, but I did not touch it whatsoever. And then I'm using a bay leaf. And this is optional, but I am adding in some Caribbean jerk seasoning and curry powder. The curry powder is definitely optional. You don't have to, but kind of like that curry flavor and things like this. So, and then some paprika, just to kind of add some of that coloring. I do want you guys to know paprika is like, I don't know if you can really taste it. I really can't taste it, but it does help with the coloring of the food. If you want something spicy, definitely use cayenne instead of paprika. So we are going to mix everything up and cover it, and then let's head over to making the rice. So I'm adding some salt to some boiling water, and then a little bit of olive oil. This olive oil is optional, but and then my cleaned white rice, and then I'm adding in my red beans along with some seasonings. The seasonings that I use, I think it was just a little bit of curry powder, the Caribbean jerk seasoning, cayenne pepper, black pepper, um, minced garlic, and onion powder. Oh, and then I am taking some of the juice from the oxtail broth, and I'm incorporating that into the rice mixture. That is optional, but it helps with that flavoring. So then I'm going back over to where my oxtails are, and I'm using some of this red wine. And again, I'm using red wine because I'm not using any browning, but I just also love using red wine in foods like this. And I'm adding in more water, and we are closing the lid again. So after the oxtails have been cooking for about 2 hours, now it's time to go ahead and make that salad. I'm using chopped cucumbers. I think these are English cucumbers. And I'm taking some bell peppers and onions and some grape tomatoes and olives. I think these are Kalamata, whatever olives. Don't quote me. But these are the olives with no pits, okay? Now I want you guys to pay close attention to the salad dressing. This is balsamic vinaigrette, oregano, salt and pepper, olive oil, honey, and fresh squeeze of lemon juice, of course. And you are going to mix that all up. You guys, if you make this dressing, you're going to be like, oh my goodness, thank you so much. The honey with the lemon juice with the spices. It just really does something to the veggies. So pour that over, give it a good mix. You guys, just look at that salad. Okay, let's head back over to our oxtails. This is after our oxtails have been cooking for about 2 hours and 45 minutes. And look at how they look. I'm turning the sound on. Now tell me those oxtails don't look good. Let me know what time you're coming over. So now we're plating the items. Just look at the oxtails. Just take a close look at them. They were so good, you guys. Oh my goodness. And I'm getting hungry as I'm doing this voiceover. And then I'm pouring that sauce on the rice. Oh my goodness. Okay, let me know what time you're coming over for dinner. But you guys, please go ahead and try this recipe. I am urging you to go ahead and try it. It's amazing. Invite some people over. Yeah, just go in the kitchen. Like, it's really, really good. You don't even have to like go to a Jamaican restaurant or anything. Just go ahead and make these along with that side salad. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know how this recipe turned out for you. Go ahead and comment down below, and I'll see you guys on my next video. Enjoy the rest of this food scenery at the end.